Good morning. It's Monday morning. It is August the 7th. Yes. Where in the daylights is this month going already? I can't believe it's already the 7th. I don't know. Anyway, morning, Data. Glad to see you're first in stream today. Oh, yes. Once again, I was up bright and early. In fact, I even woke up before my alarm went off at I was up at actually up at 3:30 this morning. Hey, Retro, good morning to you, sir. Welcome to this mess that I call a stream that I break out my frustrations on so my wife doesn't have to hear them. That old man shouting at the sky type routine, shouting at the clouds, dang it. And yeah, there has been so much this week that just as a rundown of some things that I didn't even put on and I didn't pull up stories on because there's just so much of it this morning. Um, let's start off with the idiot who, uh, oops, reaching for my phone because it decided to do something crazy and started knocking a bunch of other stuff off. Let's start off with these idiots who decided that they wanted to uh, claim the psychiatrist who wanted to claim that uh, anybody who is a Trump supporter is in a cult, a dangerous cult, a cult that needs to be watched out for. Really, that's kind of all right, It reminds me of back when Trump was actually in office, and oh my God, he used two hands to lift a glass of water, and oh my God, he held onto the rails of a sidewalk or of a ramp, walking down the ramp. You know, well, did you see him stutter here? Yeah, that stutter's a sign of mental deficiency. It's like, and now anybody that actually supports Trump as a member of the cult and going to go off and start committing murders. I'm sorry, but the only people I've seen out there being violent on a regular basis are members of the left. I mean, yeah, have some conservatives really gotten fed up and gone too far? Yeah, but not in near the numbers or the length of time. I mean, we spent 2 years of rioting, and it was all excuse. Remember CNN, who says you have to protest peacefully? Hey, Lazel, good morning. How you doing today? But with today, I wanted to start off with our women's soccer team. The soccer team that during the playing of the national anthem just stood there. One maybe two player. I think it was two players actually placed their hands over their heart and mouthed the words to the national anthem, and the rest of them just stood there. You know the America's team. The team representing the United States. They just stood there like with Megan Rapinoe, who wanted to tell everybody that the United States is evil, and that's why she took a knee because, well, you're exactly right there, Data. It's called projection. Well, Megan had a chance to win this soccer game, but
Did it go in?
oh, well, wrong video. That was the winning shot. That was the winning shot. So let me back. This was the kick that won the game for Sweden.
Post. The run of play has a chance to put them out of the World Cup.
There we go.
Off there. Did it go in?
And boom, as you can see, the ball's inside the net. So, yep, that was the winning kick for Sweden. Now, Megan, the woman who is supposed, yeah, Data, let me get through this first, okay? Now, old Megan here, she was supposed to shoot the winning shot. Oh, come on. Thank you. Megan was supposed to shoot the winning shot, but whoa! Look how far that ball is off. Look, that ball isn't going anywhere near the net. And Megan is supposed to be the best player in the world on the American team, and she can't even kick the ball down inside that big ass net, get even close to it. Yeah, that ball took off like a rocket straight into the air. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Megan. I'm sorry. To the moon. But okay, where is it? Where is it? But when Megan was sitting there being interviewed afterwards, after her loss, in this, and she's asking, what is the thing you're most proud of? She announced her retirement. What's the thing you're most proud of in this last game? And her response, getting equal pay. It wasn't representing the United States. It wasn't even showing women that women can play soccer, be athletic. No. What was she most proud of? It was getting the paycheck. Okay, so let's take a look at this paycheck. Let's take a quick look at this so-called paycheck. Okay. Now, both men and women got eliminated in the same group, in the same round of 16. All right, this year. The women should have only earned $2.9 million, the American women's soccer team. That's all they should have gotten. But because of the contract they get, they're going to get $7.3 million. Because the men gave up their money. And both teams, all the money put into a kitty and then quote unquote, divided equally between the two, men's team and the women's team. So instead of the men getting $11 million and the women $2.9 million, men getting 11.7, the women getting 2.9, they're each going to get 7.3. All right, 7.3 million to be divided up amongst the players. Now the problem is it's the division amongst the players that isn't equal. Because remember, the men only get paid if they play. The women get paid regardless. Oh, Sean, I wouldn't be surprised about that. Good morning to you, and morning, Ramen. Yeah, and Leslie, you're exactly right. The women's team is being subsidized. But beyond being just subsidized and getting equal cash payouts to the men's, the contract, the women's national team agreement includes, among other things, guaranteed annual salaries, medical, dental insurance, paid child care assistance, paid pregnancy and parental leave, severance benefits, and bonuses. Benefits that the U.S. soccer are not provided to the men's national team. So the women are actually getting bonuses that the men's team don't get. And that's coming out of that pot. Also, so, all right, okay. All right, I've got to, you're going to hear a little bit of noise and such here throughout, about every half hour or so, because today is also my infusion day. So I'm sitting here with needles stuck in me, and I've got to change out my syringes, and it takes about a half hour for each syringe to go through. Come on, open up. Thank you. Push the air out. Yes. So much fun for you guys. Yeah, I know. I know that. I'm sorry that you got to listen to this. But anyway, back to the females, back to this soccer game here. It would, once again, though, that, and I'm sure y'all know what I'm going to say here. And once again, it's not about what's equal. It's not even about what's fair. And it never is. Okay. These groups that say they want equality, I don't care if it's racial, I don't care if it's based on gender, I don't care if it's based on who you want to sleep with. We already know it. It's not about fairness. It never is. It's about getting an advantage. They don't want fairness. If they wanted fairness, they'd been happy with what was fair, which was getting paid what you earned. And they don't want paid what they actually earned. They want more than what they've actually earned. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Well, son of a gun. My external drive just collapsed. That sucks. That's right, Sean. That's exactly what I was saying. The men's team actually have to play to win, to get play to get any money. If they miss a game, even if they're suited up and they just sit on a bench, and they sit on the bench the whole time, they don't get paid. So but you're not going to see this being discussed. And let's not forget that the women's national team was also beat by a bunch of 15-year-old boys. Oh, yeah, they just weren't playing their hardest. It was a demo. It was a fun game. We were the Harlem Globetrotters playing against the Washington Capitals, or whatever the hell that the name of their team was. It was a backup drive ramen, and it just became disconnected. I'm sure that when I reconnect it, things will get better. I don't know what's it's something I'll have to play with later. You're exactly right. If yeah, the women don't even have to play; they could forfeit the game, and they showed up. So again, it's not about fairness. It's not about equality. It was these women wanting to grab something that wasn't there, something they didn't earn. It's like this video I saw yesterday. This I don't know who shared it on Twitter. I don't remember who shared it on Twitter. Uh, the young couple sitting down at a restaurant eating, and it looks like or they're sitting down somewhere eating. They got these big old things on sticks, And the female asked the male, "Hey, do you want a bite of mine?" And he said no. And a couple of seconds later, she goes, "Well, let me get a bite of yours." And he threw his thing down and said, "Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. I just knew you were going to want to take a bite of my food." Women, women. Now, get your if you want something, order it for yourself. Now, my wife only likes certain types of ice creams, and she's got to try an ice cream before she'll eat it. And I'm the same way, I mean, and she's trying to. She does these keto ice creams, and I find them bland and flavorless for the most part. And I mean, my favorite flavor, of course, is vanilla. My second favorite flavor is mint chocolate chip. My third flavor is blueberry Italian ice. And then they've got these frozen watermelon things that I absolutely, I go to Walmart, and if they have them in, I usually end up buying them, and I'll eat three of them on my way home from Walmart, and it's only a 7-minute drive. And I'll eat three. I'll eat three of them in those 7 minutes. And if the wife wants a bite of something off of my plate, or she wants to try something off of mine because she's never had it before, that's fine. Okay, and you know, that's fine. You've never had this before, even though m- most times my cooking I get is stuff that I've eaten before because I eat what I happen to like. And I don't experiment with her around because that means I'm usually cooking for two people, and she's not experimental with her foods. But women have got this nastiest habit, and in general, and yes, I know I'm talking broad brush terms. Oh my God, he's using broad brush terms. Women have this nasty habit of, "Oh dear, I'm not hungry. No, no, no." And yes, I did the same thing. Instead of ordering medium fries, I start ordering a large fries because I know when I get that she's going to eat half of them. Or tater tots. If I get order onion rings, I just go ahead and order two orders of onion rings to give her one because I know she's going to eat the whole damn thing. But one day, she pulled that stunt with me, and I was like, okay, you want to do this, fine. So she took a pretty healthy bite out of whatever it was I had on my plate, and I said, all right. I reached over to take a bite of hers, and it was like three, four, half of what she had. But my God, I said, well, I needed to taste it. You ate off my plate, I ate off yours. Leave the other people's food alone. You experiment. Experiment on your own. Buy your own. Get something, get it small. And if it's a couple, $3, $4, $5 and you don't like it, throw it away. At least you know you'll never eat it again. Anyway, I'm going to be all over the place today, guys. I'm telling you. Now there'll be times where there'll be times where the wife and I, we know we're going to split. Uh, we're going to go to a restaurant, and she's going to order something. I'm going to order something different, and we're going to split that. We know we're going to do it as planned when we get to the restaurant that we're going to, because I mean, uh, she'll like if we there's this one barbecue place we go to. She'll order a full rack of ribs, and I'll order a full chicken. And she'll split her rack of ribs and I'll give her half the chicken. So that's planned, okay? That's planned out, you know. Uh, and then on the side there may be a couple. The same place has got god awful fantastic mac and cheese. I just wish I could make this mac and cheese. They've got something in there. I don't know what it is, but it's got a flavor that's just out of this world. And I'll order 2 portions of that on my plate and give her one. So, yeah, I mean, but who has the best? It's a little corner barbecue joint here, and they cook their mac and cheese in the smoker with their ribs and chicken, and it is just outrageously good. I mean, I could probably do the same thing at home if I had a smoker, which I don't. But I'm not going to buy a smoker just to make mac and cheese. Yep, that's getting that smoky flavor inside of it, and oh, it is good. But since we're talking about cooking and food, fast food joints. Everybody, nobody wants to work at fast food joints, but but a lot of people start their jobs working fast food joints. McDonald's, Burger King's, Wendy's, and yada yada yada. But with these ideas of having well, I need to make $25 an hour if I'm working there. I need to make, minimum wage now $15 an hour at Burger King. Well, the profit margins. I've never worked fast food. All right. I did work in a place that sold ice cream, trail bologna, and cheeses and that kind of stuff. I've worked at convenience stores and I worked insurance as well as, doing VCR, TV, and computer repair. And I know, and then of course, now working at the hotel, I know profit margins suck. Yeah, yeah. Oh, your hotel made $1 million last year. Yep. A hotel on average, even a mom and pop hotel will make $1 million to $1.5 million on the low end in a year. Mm-hmm. And a $3,000 to $4,000 a month electric bill, up to $10,000 a month. Yep. Their water bill, a few $1,000s on that water bill because that's a lot of laundry being washed every day. Usually minimum 3 to 4 loads. And when I'm talking loads, I'm talking a dozen sets of sheets at a time. And then there's, oh yeah, let's see. Ramen's done. Ice cream, pizza, restaurants. Yeah. Then you got your cable bill because everybody's you've got to have high price cable. People want they want to have their HBO, they want to have their Showtime. So you got to supply that, and then internet service. If you don't offer free internet, and breakfast in the mornings, man, you have got to serve a hot breakfast. And no, it's not just coffee and fruit or coffee. At bare minimum, it's got to be coffee, fruit, waffles, cold cereal with fresh milk, fresh butter, rolls of some kind. Yeah. And oh yeah, that's got to be free too. And how dare you charge $150 for a night stays at a hotel? I shouldn't have to pay more than $60 or $70 with tax. How dare you charge that much? And then, oh yeah, don't forget, you got to pay your employees and matching taxes and all that other neat stuff. And new furniture furniture in a hotel lasts about 5 years, then it has to be replaced. Mattresses last about 6 years, and then they have to be replaced. There's this idea of a 20-year mattress. Nah. You may get away with replacing your mattress at home every 20 years, but mattress at a hotel, if you're lucky, it's good for 5 to 7 years. And I've seen them last 6 months. Yes. I've seen having to replace brand new mattresses in 6 months. And no, they don't get them cheaper. So, anyway, automation. There's a company called Mizo. Oh my God, Leslie, that no air conditioning? Nah. I tell you, we've got uh, we've got 12, 14, 16, 20. We've got 20 spare air conditioners stacked up in our storeroom. Now, luckily, last week our maintenance guy was on vacation, and so we didn't have to replace that. If we'd had an AC go out last week, we just wouldn't have been able to rent that room because wouldn't have had anybody to replace the AC unit. But oh my God! Hey, morning, Duck Dog. Oh, duck fat roux. Yeah, you're right about that. Oh, now Lazel, yeah, and the reason, and like we take dogs at our hotel. It's we do charge extra though because we've got to treat each room for fleas and dander when they check out. So we charge $25 a night per dog. Uh, yeah, Ron, bed bugs is an issue that a lot of hotels, ours included, we've got our own equipment for treating the rooms for bed bugs. Obviously, everything comes out of the room to be washed and sanitized. That can be, and then got equipment that goes in the room that literally heats the room up to the point that it kills everything in sight. Oh, they can. Oh, people fight about that. They complain about that. I mean, we're just upfront about it that it's $25. Um, couple hotels also accept dogs, but they say the dog rate, they've got certain rooms, and those rooms rates are, it's the rate for the room that's higher. It's like, nah, we just tell you up front, we've got, uh, and we've got 5 rooms that we won't put dogs in unless they're service dogs. Now, if you have a service dog, people, let me tell you up front, if you have a service dog, not emotional support, but an actual service dog, do not let hotels, don't let restaurants, don't let stores nonsense you into that dog can't stay there. If it's a service dog, that dog stays and it stays for free. Don't let them tell you you've got to pay for that dog, because that's a violation of the federal ADA. Now, some states, I think California and New York are 2 of them, emotional support animals are also covered, but that's a state thing, not a federal thing. So again, know your laws about where you're staying if you're taking pets with you. And like, we accept dogs, but we don't accept cats. And why don't we accept cats? Because the people claim their cat's been fixed, and they're not, and they spray. And that means we've got to replace drywalling, carpeting, or flooring wherever they sprayed to get the stench out. So, yeah, it's not fun. It's not something you want to have to do. Okay, let's see here. I know what I was going to show you. This company called Miso. Now, they've had sort of a rocky start here for the past year or so, but it looks like they're finally getting it down. Make sure I got the sound shut off on this. But they've got robots now. Flipping their French fries, onion rings, and chicken tenders. No bathroom breaks, no smoke breaks. Going to work on time. They're on work on time. The only thing you have to worry about is them, the keeping up on maintenance. So and of course there's another machine that will actually make your hamburgers for you. There's machines that'll make your waffles for you, make your pancakes for you. That one fried chicken. So yeah, buddy, we've got we've got it. We've got the robots working for us. We got the robots working for us. And let's see here. Robots cooking. Now I'm sure everybody should have seen this video. Whoops, click the wrong button. And turn the volume on for that. Here we go. Now, in Stockton, California, I looked it up this morning. Brand name cigarettes are $9 a pack plus tax. So watch this guy. At a time and throwing in there. Now, supposedly this is not his first time robbing this place.
And let me get a switch it up. Can I get a strip?
Okay.
Hey.
Now, see him grabbing back here. Supposedly he had a knife in that pocket of his.
Can I get a switch? Let me get a switch. Back up, nigga. Back up. Put a gun on this ass nigga. Hey, just let him go. There's nothing you can do. But it's nothing you can do.
And don't
like they're
tell
not
me.
You just have to just.
Don't tell me he's doing this to feed his family. He's. Oh, did he say it was a gun?
You have insurance?
This is ridiculous. And the boldness of this guy.
No,
I mean, wheels in a 35-gallon trash can container with a bag in it.
There's nothing you can do, man.
How many hundreds of dollars of cigarettes has he stolen?
And nothing you can do, man, until police come in. Hey, don't. Hey, and nothing you can do, man.
I didn't pause it in time. Back this up. There we go.
What you can do, man, until police come in.
There we go. Here is this guy's my hero. And you see the little turban he's wearing? He's a Sikh. I worked with some Sikhs when I was in the Air Force. Don't mess with them. Even in uniform, other than on the flight line itself, they carry daggers. Now, granted, they're quote-unquote ceremonial daggers, but these guys carry daggers with them. Don't mess with Sikhs. They don't play.
Hey, don't. Hey, ain't nothing you can do, man. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I know you're hearing me talk over him, but this guy is down there begging him to stop. Stop the ass whipping, please. Stop this ass whipping I'm getting.
Whooping his ass down. That's called whooping your ass. That's called whooping your ass.
I counted those the other day when this video first came out. That was 24 licks with that damn flogging stick he got. $24 of them, man. That was wonderful to watch. Unfortunately now, the Stockton police, they're investigating the Sikh and this guy here for beating the thief. I don't donate to too many GoFundMes. I really don't. Mostly because I don't have the money to be donating to too many GoFundMes. But if these guys get indicted and they got to start hiring lawyers and they open up a GoFundMe to help pay for a lawyer fund, I'm going to throw some money their direction. It's going to be, and I hope this DA takes a lesson from what happened in New York. when that convenience store owner shot the guy that was robbing him. And there was such an outcry over that arrest and those charges that Bragg eventually dropped them. Man, has that been 30 minutes already? Yeah, it sure has been. So anyway, yeah, I want to see these guys go free. I want to see these guys. They should be, instead of being investigated, they should be getting keys to the city. I'll guarantee you that guy won't be going back into that store and robbing it again. Supposedly that was his third time robbing them. And I heard somebody say, that he was even in there earlier that day and did some shoplifting. Oh, Dar's joining up.
Hey,
Good morning, Dar.
what are we talking about today?
Well, we just got done watching the video of the guy in Stockton, California, getting his he FAFO'd when he tried to rob a convenience store of a few $1,000 worth of cigarettes.
Oh yeah, and he got beat with the stick.
And the Sikh took the stick to him.
Yeah, gotta love those Sikhs.
I gotta love anybody that does that to a thief.
Yeah,
Because protecting their store like that.
woman. Excuse me.
You all right?
Oh, I just know I got all choked up when Roman said, "Hey."
Oh, okay. That's it. We had some Sikhs out when I was in Germany on our base, and even in BDUs, they wore their little ceremonial dagger.
Yeah, well, they wear more than one.
Yep. And I tell you honestly, I would not put it past it to that being more than just a ceremonial dagger.
Well, what are you whining?
That's the pump for my infusion.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm having to do my infusion early this morning because I've got other stuff I've got to do this afternoon. So
it's like a plan.
Yeah, so it's, I apologize for the noise, guys, but this is just something I have to do.
Well, with all the other stuff that goes on in these streams,
every other Monday and every other Friday.
So I guess, I don't know. I think maybe addressing the elephant in the room would be good.
What's that?
Well, you see the video of this guy, beating the crap out of this robber, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a good thing, because this guy was all playing like he had a gun and was going to shoot these guys. But, the part that we're not going to see or hear about is this guy is going to come back probably with a gun and probably end up shooting this guy.
I don't know if he'd come back or not.
Well, we can always hope not, but I'm just saying, there's a possibility that he could come back and actually.
Come back and lay him wait outside.
Yeah. So, there's, things that we will not hear about in the future, I'm sure.
But then there's always this thing that also that since he definitely had more than the $950 or the $1,000 limit worth of cigarettes he was trying to steal.
Yeah, he could have went to jail. We don't know.
All right, he may get convicted on other real charges and go to jail. Because I mean, like I said, I looked it up this morning. The price of a pack of Marlboros in Stockton, California this morning was $9 a pack plus taxes. So he had several hundreds packs of cigarettes that he'd thrown into that
waste bucket,
into that trash can there. So he was way over the $900 or $1,000 limit.
Yep.
That he had attempted to steal, and that's on top of the fact of him by reaching into his pocket and such, indicating he had a weapon.
Yeah, threatening and all that. Yeah, so hopefully he went to jail. I mean, I don't know what happened. I would be interested in finding out, but but the bigger point that I was getting to, and I'm sorry, I kind of don't always have a good way of communicating this, but the bigger point that I'm getting to is no matter what state you're in, right? But predominantly California and any of the liberal states and that, people are starting to get to the point where, they're kind of at a boiling point, right? And you're going to see more and more of these things happen, and it's going to get worse and worse. So that's all I'm coming to is, when I say the elephant in the room is what happens when this becomes really a bad thing,
Right.
And so it kind of worries me.
Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm trying to. Okay, there's that. Somebody's saying it sounds like I'm winding up a. Duck Dog says it sounds like I'm running a gun magazine there when I'm winding up my pump. And I'm trying to find a picture of what I actually use, and I see the infusion fanny pack, but I don't see the pump itself being listed here anywhere, which is weird. But anyway, but that's all right.
Doesn't much matter.
But you see, now, these thieves, keeping on the theme of crooks getting there. Now, this one here sort of upset me a little bit. All right, we got this young man here trying to steal this old elderly lady's bicycle. Here comes, I'm assuming this is a woman here, but here, this is what pissed me off. This guy here, this supposed beard-wearing man. I'm just assuming that this is a woman.
Yeah.
By the style pants they're wearing. At first, I thought with the haircut and the glasses, I thought it was a man, but look at this guy. He's standing there just watching.
Yeah.
Just watching this woman, this elderly woman, fight this guy over her bicycle. And what's his contribution? He picks up his phone and dials 911. He's got his little umbrella. He's got his little bag. Yeah, he puts his hand on the bike there for a few seconds, but no, I'm so confused. This may be a man wearing women's pants, or maybe a
Could be a
woman with a
guy wearing
man's
skinny.
haircut.
Yeah, could be a guy
Uh,
wearing skinny jeans. Who knows?
yeah, if he's wearing skin, I mean that if that is a guy, then he's no wonder I'm confused. He's because he sure isn't acting like a man. Neither one of them are.
Yeah.
But my reaction to this post is, first of all, good on Granny. Good on Grandma over here. She is not letting her bicycle go.
No,
That
she
is
is
hers,
not.
and she is not letting that thief take it. That makes me happy. These other two, I'm saddened. I'm absolutely saddened that went through. Yeah, Badger. No, but you're right, Badger. That is a pretty weak criminal. And good relevant time of day to you.
Good relevant time.
But yeah, I mean, this is just weakness, and this.
This is just allowing the bad guys to get away with stuff. Is all this is. But you see, part of me is like, yeah, he's showing his weakness and being a
That's
and all
overgrown
that.
soy
But
boy.
yeah, but another part of me is like, with the way they defend criminals and all that stuff nowadays, I kind of get it. So
I don't know. I just don't get. I don't get watching somebody. I don't care who it is, attacking an elderly person.
yeah,
Especially,
that always
so,
bothers me.
I had somebody this morning laughing. I was listening to Clockwork Rex stream this morning.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't
A-
watched one of his in a while.
and I was listening to him. He invited me on, but my wife was sleeping. And if I'd start talking, then I would have woke her up, and I'm not going to wake her up before she has to. You do not wake up my wife.
Yeah, I know. I have the same thing.
Any earlier than what she has to wake up. If you rob her of even 5 minutes of her sleep, there is hell to pay for days. Not just minutes or hours, but for days.
Yeah.
Because she will ensure you do not get sleep.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
For every minute you robbed her of, she's going to take an hour of yours.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it.
But anyway, I made the comment. Somebody made a comment about being old, and they were just getting ready to turn 47 or something. I was like, hey, come on, you're still young. And I'm 63 and I don't feel old. Mentally I don't feel old. Physically, well, that's a different story. But anywho, but this just makes me mad to see an older woman like this being abused, and somebody that's unmistakably a man standing there and letting it happen. And his contribution is picking up a phone and dialing 911.
Yeah. See, to me, I just, well, so here's my thing. Here's what I'm of the opinion of. Just, just what, in a situation like that, yeah, I would dial 911. Then I'd set my phone down so that the 911 dispatch could hear everything that happened from then on. So,
Okay.
like, take for instance, someone's trying to kick my door in the middle of the night. I call 911, give them my address, and say my house is being broke into. I set the phone down so that the dispatcher can hear everything that's going on, because when those gunshots are fired, see, then you have a record of everything that happened.
That's true. That's true.
And in a situation like this, right? Same thing. You dial 911, you set your phone down so that conversation can be clearly heard as you fight for that bike. And if that guy starts getting squirrely or whatever, and you have to pull, then the whole conversation is heard. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, you make a good point.
I mean, that's how I would handle any of those situations. Because you don't want to escalate things, right? But at the same point, you do need to defend those that are weaker than you, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's just how I was raised.
That's pretty much how I was raised also.
And, my thing is always to de-escalate any situation, and then, praise the, because, like, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Just saying.
Right.
Then your plan tends to go out the window.
That is so true. What was that in World War II? They said, you could have the general's guy that made the plans that worked until they met the enemy.
Yeah. So a plan. Yeah. So the expression has been said many different ways, many different situations over the years. But basically, is everybody has a plan until the first shot is fired.
Right.
And same way, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Same thing, right? You can plan all you want, but plans tend to go out of the window when reality sets in. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, and just to finish out my thumbnail.
So, am I even like close to what we're talking about? Or
well, yeah, we're close. Okay. All right, and to finish out the thumbnail there, the writer's strike.
And who cares? Let them stay on strike.
And that is the response by nearly everyone, especially when it comes to the nightly talk shows being off the air now for over 100 days.
Oh, they've been off the air?
Yeah. Because without writers, they can't produce new shows.
I didn't even know.
Yes. The late night talk show hosts haven't been there.
Huh.
Because they don't have writers writing their scripts and they can't write their own.
Well, that says a lot about the current state of affairs, doesn't it?
And nobody has cared except for them and the people directly tied to them, to that programming.
Huh.
Now there's the Screen Actors, since they joined the strike, there's a lot of people upset there because there's movies and such have gone on hold.
Okay, and
all right.
Judging by the last crop of movies, I'm not upset about that either.
And right. And new TV shows, next year's TV shows have gone on hold, and maybe a few episodes of this year's seasons. But usually by now they've got. Well, we're getting ready to enter the new season come October, so they're still shooting. They were still shooting shows for this season,
Right.
this upcoming season. So yeah, the writer strike. I haven't even really seen that much about it in the news.
No, and which kind of surprised me. You figured you would, but most of the things that I pay attention to and watch anyway really doesn't matter. So, because for me, I work all day. I spend a lot of time outside. I just don't. There's, like I said, the crop of movies of late have not been that good. That's the reason I've been going back and been watching the old Troma release movies.
Right.
Just watched Blades the other night.
Oh, okay. Man, that's the Blade trilogy.
No, not Blade, not the half vampire guy. I'm talking Blades. So it's a Troma movie. What it's about is a killer lawnmower in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Funnier than crap. And see, that's the thing about the Troma Studios movies. You have to realize that you have to realize the point that they're making in the movie. And at the time, when it first came out, I didn't realize the point they were making until I watched it again. I'm like, oh my God. It was freaking hilarious.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Well, may or may not. It's on Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime.
Okay. Well, I've been working my way through the Wild Wild West TV series.
Yeah, which is quality entertainment is
right
compared to a lot of stuff.
And again, a show that could not be shot today as it was back then.
No.
All right. And,
there's so many shows you couldn't do today that they were doing.
The reason why they couldn't shoot it the way they did back then is every woman, but nearly every woman that kisses James West falls in love with him.
Yeah, same way with Captain Kirk and
and they just they're getting ready to stab him in the back or shoot him or whatever. He pulls them in, locks his magical lips on them, and they forget everything.
Yeah, they no longer want to. Yeah, exactly. Well, one of my all-time favorite shows that when it was on was like something I watched because not only did I find it hilarious, but I actually got a lot of the jokes in it, and that was In Living Color.
Now, I wasn't a regular watcher of that, mostly because I worked shift work.
Right.
But I did watch it on occasion, sometimes during the summer, it would be on repeat.
Yeah.
And that's where Jim Carrey got his start. If I remember right. And that show, their skit comedies were fantastic.
Yes, they were. Wanda was one of my favorite characters. Homie the Clown, Fire Marshal Bill. I mean, all that. And the one skit they did with, spoof on Michael Jackson was freaking hilarious.
Their spoof on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah. I like the Saturday Night Live version better, but with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, okay.
Kill my landlord. Kill my landlord.
But yeah, they did. Now I love good sketch comedy. I think that's one of the reasons why I used to. Well, then again, the Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason
Yeah.
and Art Carney. That was
Yeah. I
that
love
was
Lucy. All those.
so much fun. Um, but yeah, the writers, the media or the late night talk show hosts are finding out that people just don't care that they're not around.
Yeah. Go figure. Because I am certainly one of those that don't care. I mean, I haven't watched the Tonight Show. The last time I watched it, Jay Leno was on.
Oh wow! Well, say I never watched. I rarely, if ever, watched the Late Show.
um, let's see. Yeah, Jay Leno was the host of the Tonight Show. Johnny Carson's old show. The only reason that I was ever up that late was like, if I was on watch or something like that.
Right.
So for the most part, that was kind of last time I watched any of those. I did watch one time because some people were telling me how funny Conan O'Brien was. I watched one episode of that show and I'm like, how does anybody find this guy the least bit funny?
That's a good question.
I mean, I couldn't find anything funny in it at all. And maybe I'm just a weirdo, but I think I have a pretty good sense of humor.
Yeah. No, I didn't find that redheaded guy funny at all.
And then so any of those like Jimmy Fallon and any of those other ones, I've never watched any of them because I have never been interested. Don't really care.
Badger brings up Craig Ferguson. Craig Ferguson is funny when he's doing British humor in Britain.
Well, Craig Ferguson can be funny. He can.
But when he was trying to do the American market, he tried to adjust his humor, his style for what he thought Americans wanted, American taste would be, and I just didn't find it as funny.
Well, so here's my take on Ferguson. I find that he can be very funny, and see, I kind of enjoy the British take on comedy because it's a little drier and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I do too. Well, that's what I'm saying. When he's doing British comedy in Britain, he's hilarious.
But see, when he tries to wade into politics or social issues or whatever, that's kind of where I go, used to be funnier when he just stuck to being funny. And I feel that way about a lot of people that I find them extremely funny, but sometimes when they wade too far into certain areas, then they become less funny. Because, like for me, I think Dave Chappelle is probably one of the funniest men that ever lived. I mean, he ranks up there with George Carlin in my book.
And that's because he's doing a different kind of humor. And you're right.
Yeah. And so do I agree with everything? Do I find every single joke absolutely hysterical? No. Does sometimes watching it make me feel a little uncomfortable? Sometimes. But that's part of the thing. You have to deal with those things.
Well,
Um,
observational humor is what Chappelle and Carlin, uh, Richard Pryor,
yeah, that's what they excelled at.
and observational humor is usually fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah,
it's because you observe the same things. You may observe it through a different lens, but you're still observing the same thing. It's something you can relate to.
yeah,
And it's like I'm reading Mose from the Three Stooges. I'm reading his autobiography right now,
yeah,
and I didn't know he wrote one until a
yeah.
couple weeks ago, and I bought it and I'm reading it now. The man was a genius.
Yes, he
He
was.
really was a genius in what he did and how he approached the business. Uh, it was, because you sit there and watch the Three Stooges, and you think it's just all slapstick, uh, you know, pratfalls and such.
Right.
But the amount of thought that Mo put into all that stuff that he did, it wasn't just slapped together stuff. I mean, every detail was thought out. Yeah, yuck, 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 yuck. So, um, let's see, what was all right, now I'm going to sort of this next video here I'm going to show sort of combines the two previous things that we're talking about, crime
Okay.
and robotics.
Oh,
Okay. And cities. Combines it in a sad depiction of humans.
so have I convinced you that they're working on the 20-minute city yet?
On the what?
The 20-minute city.
Oh, well, I know they are.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So I know last time we talked, you're like, "Well, I never put that together." I was just like,
Okay. These guys here, what's shown here is these delivery robots.
Oh yeah, those robots getting robbed. What did they think was going to happen?
They just tip them over, and this is sad. I mean, you know that
It is,
stuff in there doesn't belong to you.
but you're going to take it because you know you can get away with it.
Right. The poor little Austin got his stuff beat up. Now these guys jumping on him. Woman thinking she's riding a riding bronco. So robotics is not meant for everywhere.
No.
They are not meant for everything. So,
And one day the robots are going to rise up.
these guys will be held up as martyrs. Poor little. And, they do what they can to try and make them look cute and everything. But not that's it. Poor little guys. Come on. All right. Oh, Data. I'm sorry, Data. I forgot about it. Let's see if I scroll up here to the beginning. Data had a short he wanted me to show.
Oh,
All right.
did you
And
pre-watch it?
not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if I can what I can do with this. Because I don't think I can scroll back to the beginning of the because I did not, and I'm sorry, Data, but I don't think I can get back to the beginning. Oh yeah, there it is. Here we go. Let's see. Copy that. Come over here, paste it in here. Oh, good grief. That didn't work.
And
Open
this is
link
why
in
you
new
don't
tab.
let old people mess around with technology, folks.
Kiss my grits. All right. I'm trying. Okay. I don't know if the link is going to work there. It's just sitting there spinning around there, Data.
Yeah, may or may not. But at least he put the link in the chat for us all. So,
Yep. Okay, we got it.
oh, good.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, because I watched several of these videos about, watching robots cooking burgers at fast food places and putting the food together and going out on the assembly line. Oh, yeah, the ping pong one. This one's actually a really good video.
Let's see how much of it they do without edits. Okay, interesting. Okay, there's only one edit in it.
Yep. When you see the one where the robotic dog is dancing and stuff, and then you're like, this is getting a little too eerily creepy.
That's cool.
And actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I totally brain farted when you were talking about this earlier. When you were talking about the Actors Guild strike.
Right.
And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, who really cares? Because, like Harrison Ford said in an interview, he goes, dude, I'm like 80 years old. And they're going to still be making movies with me in it long after I'm dead because of the AI and stuff, right? They don't even need me around to be in a movie.
That's one of the reasons why the actors are on strike, because they don't want that to happen.
And because, the ruination of Star Wars, they had Grand Moff in there, and that actor died quite a few years ago, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's just with the AI and everything, do they really need actors?
Well, let's see, the Canadian actors are on strike also. And what's happening is because they're two different, completely different organizations.
Yeah.
The Canadian producers are hiring American actors.
Yep.
And I was watching an interview with one of the American actors that said, she goes, I didn't even realize the Canadians were on strike.
Yep.
So she'd gone up and done her thing, done some commercials, made a few thousand American dollars.
Yep.
And then she said, well, that's it. No, I'm not doing any more Canadian commercials. All right, guys. Warning, going to make some noise here.
Do you even
Okay.
realize? Do you even realize how many American TV shows were filmed in Canada?
Oh,
And were
a majority of them are.
21 Jump Street was Canadian. The only reason I know about that is because I walked through the middle of the set while they were filming.
Yeah, majority of American shows are shot in Toronto, Quebec, and such
Yeah,
because it's cheaper.
yes, it is. And
The actors get paid less, for all your extras. They don't, they're not as well. Depending on the province, their rules for shooting, who has to be, who all has to be involved in the movie.
right.
Okay. Is not as strict, shall we say.
And then there used to be quite a few TV shows that were filmed in Mexico as well, Cabo San Lucas. And the only reason I know about that is, again, walked through the middle of a set while they were filming.
Now, I've been to that set down in Arizona where they shot a lot of Westerns. And it's almost an entire town.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Whoop. I just heard something beep. So, moving my computer. Just done something.
Well,
okay. I know what it did. Let's see here. What was next on my agenda that I had here?
Data's. Oh my God! Shroom pulls a string so he can talk. Remember those dolls? You pull the string.
Oh yeah.
Mommy. It's kind of what he was saying. He goes, "Yeah, Shroom had to pull this string." That was funny. Data, you're funny.
This Barbie movie.
What about it?
I cannot believe the stuff coming on about it. Here is part of a Reddit thread. My girlfriend, 22, watched Barbie movie and said there are things that I needed to change. She watched it with her female friend first. She told me she enjoyed it, but didn't comment much more. Today, she told me the movie opened her eyes, and we must watch it together because there are things I needed to change if we wanted to keep being a couple. Can a movie really make you question your relationship? Specifically, a Barbie movie?
Well,
I will watch the movie with her and see what she has to say. Of course, it's just caught me off guard.
And the answer to that question is, of course it can, because, back when all this SJW stuff started up, and everybody was watching Sargon of Akkad and all those people.
Right.
Right. Remember the video that Sargon did about everything is problematic? How this young lady made the video. She goes, "Well, I watched this show and I found problems in it. I watched this show, and there was this problem, that problem, So if you're looking at the world through that lens, then yeah, the Barbie movie could cause you to think that way. Now, if you're just going, well, I want to be entertained and I want to see Margot Robbie, then you're not going to get that out of it. It's just how the lens from which you view something can definitely cause you to rethink things like that. Me personally, I may or may not go see it. I don't know.
I've got no intentions on seeing the movie because I never had anything to do with Barbies
Well,
or
my sister
Ken
played
or
with them.
anything else in that line of toys.
I want to see G.I. Joe with Kung Fu Grip movie. Just saying.
You do every time you watch a Steven Seagal movie.
That was just mean.
But anyway, but I mean, and Badger is right, and so is Sean. When your girlfriend or whoever says that we need to watch this movie so you can see what you need to change, it's time to find a new girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
It really is. Or now here's some of the responses. That the one I particularly liked here was, honey, I just watched 50 Shades of Grey. There's a few things that you need to change. Okay.
All right. Sounds like a change I'm willing to make.
But the I don't know what I'm afraid to ask what they're seeing in this Barbie movie
I
that
don't
is
know.
causing this kind of reaction among the
Is it
younger, and I'm saying younger, the early 20s. I mean, they're people 40 years younger than me.
now? Is this a widespread thing, or is it just a minority, but it's all blown out of proportion?
From what I've seen, it's maybe 25-30% of the women that have gone in there to see the Barbie movie are coming out with like this.
So I don't know.
But then then again, it could be just a very loud 12%.
Yeah, it could be a very loud, very small percentage. So I really don't know that much about it, and I really don't know that I care that much about it. Yeah, is that a good
I
word?
mean,
Yeah.
I know it's I've heard people say it's a women's empowerment and type thing, and Ken's a real dick throughout the whole show. But I don't know. It's just the thought that a woman would sit there and say, "You've got to see this movie with me to see what you need to change about your life if you want to stay with me."
Yeah, I'd see you later. Bye.
That's not a small red flag.
No, that's pretty much But see, but then again, I've been married 20 some odd years. If she hasn't figured out what a weirdo I am and all that, then it's too damn late.
Well, yeah, that's me. I mean, I've been 33 years. We've been married, and she hasn't figured out what I'm like in this time. Again.
Yeah. So see, for Seagal would be Trader Joe with the Aikido grip. Yeah, I agree with you there, Sean.
How about this congressional hearings on alien life and the absolute lack of reaction in the country to it?
Okay.
That's just it. It was like, all right, that's. I had somebody ask me, about it, and they said, well, they know I'm a Christian. They said, well, what do you think? You're a Christian. Do you think that there's alien life? I said, well, first of all, I never read anywhere that God said he only created life on this planet. And I'm not bold enough to suggest that he only created life on one planet. Or that he was only capable of creating life on one planet. Yeah, Sean, we do have some, I would not be surprised to see some aliens sitting in Congress.
Dennis Rodman, he's an alien. I heard that on Men in Black.
Excuse me.
All right.
I hit the wrong button here trying to mute. But there's actually more noise about the lack of reaction to people by people to this whole idea that there's aliens have visited the earth over the past 100 years than anything else. People like me, I'm saying, well, how does this fact affect me directly? Is it paying my bills? Is my bills going to go down? Are they coming to put more food on my table? Are they going to take care, give us the technology for free electricity? Even though I did see an article and I forgot to save it this morning, the second, and this is something that could work for us. Come on, you can spell it. But there was here we go. A lab repeated nuclear fusion with a higher output. So that's like only the second time that nuclear fusion has actually. Here's the article. And that is U.S. scientists responsible for historic nuclear fusion breakthroughs say they have repeated the feat, this time achieving a greater yield of energy. The Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory stunned the world in December when it announced that it carried out experimental nuclear reaction that put out more energy than was put into it, a holy grail of science in the quest for unlimited clean power. We can confirm the experiment produced a higher yield than the December 2022 experiment. California lab plans to report the results at upcoming scientific conferences and peer-reviewed publications. So if they're actually beginning to do repeatable nuclear fusion, that would be amazing.
Well, okay, so here's my take on the whole alien thing, all right?
All right.
For those of us that are old enough to remember, back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, right? All the alien stuff. I mean, even
Project Blue Book.
Yeah, Project Blue Book and all that stuff. Shows like 1999 and, and all that kind of stuff, right? And all the hysteria that was generated. I mean, even What's-His-Face made a funny song about it. The guy who's saying, Ray Stevens, even he did a song about it.
He did?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, there was all this, UFO stuff going on back then, right?
Right.
And, all the elites and all these people just, basically, if you saw an alien ship or whatever, they just made fun of you and all this kind of thing. And, and ridiculed it to the point where most people just like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden that Joe Biden wants to be the dictator of the world and all this kind of stuff, now all of a sudden they're bringing it back up and saying, releasing these files and all that. So part of me is going, they're just doing this to distract from what they're doing, right? This is all big part of the distraction, just like the Trump indictments and all this other stuff. It's all just a big distraction. So part of me says that. And I think that is probably why the reaction is what it is out there, because so many people have so much distrust for the government right now that they're just going, this is just something they're doing to distract us from stuff that's really going on. And so that's kind of my thought process on it. And I think that's probably a big reason why there's so little reaction to it.
You're probably right on that. I mean, but until it has a direct effect on our lives, most of us don't care anymore.
Right. And that's the other. I mean, it's a fascinating thing to explore,
Mm-hmm.
but there's much bigger problems. I mean, if you're worried about, trying to make your next credit card payment, trying to buy, next week's groceries, stuff like that, you don't really have time to worry about other things. And so that's, part of the issue as well. And now, if they bring out a dead alien body on national TV, then yeah, then you're going to get a reaction.
Oh yeah, you'll see a lot of.
But so that's kind of where. So that's camp I'm in. I just personally, I feel it's just a big distraction. They're trying to distract from what they're actually doing. And I think some of these people may be very earnest in their assertions that there is alien life and they have visited planet and all that. And I think there are people that are very earnest in it and they really believe it. But I also think that people are too caught up in just trying to pay the bills and survive right now.
Well, a piece of breaking news just happened in the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Supposedly, the last ex-Minneapolis officer convicted in the George Floyd killing gets a sentence of 4 years and 9 months.
Wow.
There's the Oriental guy,
Yeah.
Officer Tao To, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He was just a bystander there. He was just trying to keep people back. And he was found guilty of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. And he also got convicted of a federal civil rights charge. And so, this he got 3.5 years for that. Now 4 years for this.
Yeah. See, I think no matter what, it's nobody, because of all the stuff that exploded around it and everything else, I don't think anybody got a fair shake.
No. I was not really aware of this, but our CDC, the woman acting as our CDC director, if what I read and remember is correct, she has not been officially confirmed by the Senate.
Okay.
As the CDC director.
So she's acting.
Right.
Which is most of Trump's appointees during his whole presidency. Richard Grenell and all them were just acting.
So, but back during the pandemic, this woman had a lot of power.
Yes, she did. Way too much, you ask me.
Listen to this 31 seconds of pure science. This is how scientific she was in her decision making.
Ooh.
So I would call, probably the person I called most was the Secretary of Health and Human Services in Massachusetts. She worked for a Republican governor just to, but you know, when she was like, are you going to let them have professional football? And I was like, nope. And she's like, okay, neither are we. You know, it was like conversations like that. So, or I'd be like, so when are you going to think about lightening up a mess? They're like, next Monday. I'm like, okay, next Monday. So I would call.
Wow. That was the science that she was using to determine what was and was, the when are you going to do this? Okay, I'll do it at the same time as you are. Well, I'm going to do this. Okay, that's great. Then that's when I'll do this.
Yeah, it's almost like it was coordinated.
Well, it's not so coordinated. It's like, where's the science involved here? Remember, we were told, believe the science.
Yeah.
And
remember, Fauci is the science, right?
Right, Fauci. Yeah, I am the science. But what's the nonchalant way she just said, yeah, we just got on the phone and when are you going to do this? Okay, I'll do it at the same time. Or, oh, you're not going to do that? Okay, great. I'm not going to allow it either then.
Yep.
And they were ruining people's lives this way.
Yeah. Didn't even care.
No, there was no concern over and the look on her face and the nonchalant way she was saying it. I mean, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because there's not a whole lot to say other than, sit here in shock and say, what the hell, woman? And you do right there should be enough reason for her not to be confirmed as director of the CDC.
Yep.
Yeah. There's the sort of the latest scandal or many scandals. There's always something going on. Right. A video game company last December, early January, had fired a female employee because she
bigots.
She was following Blair White and a few other people and had made some comments that a particular trans woman, trans something or another, didn't like. So they wrote a email or something, a post to the company, and said, well, as long as she's working for you, you won't get a dime of my money. So they fired her. And I'm saying, okay, it's a private company. Yeah. Okay. And most likely in at will state. So they can fire you if they don't like the color of your toenails that day.
Yep. Okay.
It's a fact of life when you work, as an adult, that you can be, that's why I don't let my business, what I do here online, if I ever get fully retired where I'm not working at all, maybe I'll let more personal information out than what I already have, even though I'm sure I've let out enough that if somebody really wanted to track down who I was, they could. And I've probably doxed myself a half a dozen times, who knows. But the idea that somebody could go to my boss and say, well, you've got a bigot, homophobe, transphobe working for you, and we're going to blow your company up online unless you fire them. My boss, okay, as much as they love me and everything else, when it comes down to the hurting business, would he or would he not keep me on? He'd have to make a decision. How much heat is he willing to take from, and negative press is he willing to take before he'd have to fire me? And what's the shame is companies have already made it that they will buckle to that kind of a threat. Which is just, it's sad that happens. That so few people, a noisy 2%, 3% of the country, can have such destructive power over people's lives because of online threats of bad, being bad mouth on the internet. But what are companies supposed to do? Yeah, petty tyrants. That's just the way, that's a good way of looking at them, as petty tyrants. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this one. Our governments are so wonderful. Have you heard of Disease X, Dar?
Nope.
Well,
I feel like I should.
Let me introduce you to Disease X. UK scientists begin work on a vaccine for the next pandemic. The work is being carried out by a team of more than 200 scientists. They're developing vaccines to ensure the public is protected against a new pandemic caused by unknown disease X. The work is carried out at the government's high security Proton Down Laboratory in Wiltshire, which is the UK Health and Security Agency's Science and Defense Technology campus. They hope by carrying this work out, future pandemics can be stopped in their tracks and will not cause the same disruption to everyday life as COVID did. Well, first of all, COVID did not cause the disruption. Our governments did in reaction to COVID. COVID in and of itself didn't do squat. It was governmental reactions and politics. Now, how dare Trump tell you not to go to Chinatown? How dare Trump ban Chinese from China or anybody traveling from China to enter the country?
Yeah, they call him xenophobic.
Whereas would it have stopped COVID from coming into the U.S.? Probably not. Most likely not.
No, because those Army guys participating in the Army Games brought it back to the U.S.
But the reaction to him and trying to stop it from coming back to the States. The hell that was raised when he tried to quarantine for, was it 14 days or 21 days?
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks to slow the curve, right?
No. Before we got to that point, when he, like the cruise ships and such, he was quarantining them off the shoreline.
Yeah.
offshore until the suspected incubation period had passed. And how dare he stop American citizens from entering their own country? He's trying to stop a disease that is sweeping through China from entering our country. So, a lot of politics got played with COVID,
Yes, they did.
and not just in the United States, but in all around the world. And the whole idea, and when the quote unquote scientists like Fauci decided they were going to start playing politics and lining their own pockets, when a bunch of people who got a taste of power that they'd never had a taste of before. So, what is Disease X? Scientists put together a threat list of animal viruses that are capable of infecting humans and could in the future spread rapidly around the world. However, it isn't known which one of them will break through and trigger the pandemic. That's why it's referred to as Disease X. So are they trying to show gain of function on these diseases? Is that what's happening here? Because remember, COVID wasn't that serious until the Chinese did gain of function on it with American dollars.
Well, didn't they do change of function before it got released?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Chinese did gain of function on it, and then it got released, and that started the whole thing. And that was funded with American tax dollars. I'm I don't know what to make of this. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what to make of this story. I'm both worried that these guys, in trying to predict what the next pandemic is going to actually create it, because they're messing around with diseases and trying to do things with it that normally wouldn't happen, or would happen much, much, much slower. Then they're going to be creating vaccines, and the vaccines won't be properly tested, but they'll be rushed out, and people could develop heart murmurs or liver and other organ failures. So I'm not an anti-science person. I'm really not, but these people scare me with what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's almost like that whole population control thing is becoming a reality.
Right. And they got the World Health Organization is involved in this mess, and we know that they're not
that's not good.
We already know that that's not exactly what the World Health Organization wants to do. Is not exactly conducive to the American way of life, shall we say, our constitutional republic and our rights and freedoms thereof. So that doesn't make me happy either, having the WHO involved. Because again, this is a bunch of people who got a taste of power.
And they like it.
And they like it, and they want it back.
They want more.
and more. Hey, Dar, just heads up, Dar. We're coming up on the witching hour for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Okay.
paying attention.
All right.
Believe it or not, I do pay attention.
Well, I know. Well, I just want you to know that I pay attention too.
I appreciate it.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. That's a good way of putting it.
But like I said, today's stream covered a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, I went like down various paths and stuff. That was
Right.
interesting.
And the thing is I've got another half a dozen tabs at least open up for things that just struck me over the weekend, since Friday. Well, actually since last Thursday. That just irritated the hell out of me. Like this CNN woman on CNN, that the reason why nobody likes Kamala is because she's a black woman.
No, the reason nobody likes her is she's a complete idiot and she's not nice.
But how dare she's a black woman, therefore she's perfect.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. That is really about the silliest thing.
Well, you know what I find funny, right?
Right.
And you just reported on this story about they're already trying to figure out what to do for the next pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, well, nobody seems really too concerned about, aliens. Well, let me think here. Why would I be concerned about aliens when I have much bigger things to worry about, like the next pandemic? It's almost like, we know something else is coming.
Yeah.
We know this other disease is gonna. It's kind of, yeah. And you want me to be concerned about aliens? Yeah, I don't give a crap about those aliens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't care. Or the another story that come out this weekend. And here's going back to January 6th and the Trump prosecution here. This last set of charges on Trump. I want to talk more about that this week, like everybody else, and my own opinion on it. But I'm sitting here and I read through these charges, and it all comes down to Trump's being charged for talking, for having an opinion.
Yeah, and they are violating his civil rights every day.
And it's like they're bringing charges against him for stating an opinion, that the same opinion and that he had about his election as Hillary had about hers.
Yeah.
And Al Gore had about his.
Almost doesn't seem fair, does it?
And where are the charges against everybody that won during the 2016 election, going out and telling the electors to vote the way that they, vote for Hillary. You don't have to vote for Trump. You're allowed to vote your conscience. Remember that?
Yeah. As long as your conscience is what we tell you it is.
Right. There's just so much hypocrisy and doublespeak. And like I said, this is why I want to get into this later on in this, because I honestly see parts of this. If Trump gets convicted, I see part of it going up before the Supreme Court.
Yeah. It's headed that way.
there was an article I read this morning that this and I've got it flagged for later on. I don't have it up. It is it's supposedly a news article, right? And it's in the first few paragraphs. It goes, "In order to save our democracy, Trump must be imprisoned."
Yeah, that's news.
And it's
So
like,
let's call them what they really are. They are the Democrat propaganda,
mouthpieces.
or I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna say the government propaganda wing, not just Democrats, because it's on both sides.
Yeah, what's come to be known as the Unit Party.
Yeah, the establishment propaganda wing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. They're not news, and I mean that goes for Fox too. They're not news. They're
Oh,
just
yeah.
part of the propaganda wing. That's all.
When Fox News, when Carlson Tucker was given all that video by the House,
Yeah.
and Fox News only allowed him to play back like 15 minutes of it. There's a lot more video there he should have been able to play back. There's a lot more stuff that went on that day that,
you notice he was fired right after that broadcast. So
oh yeah,
just saying.
yep. And that's when I lost all. I mean, my respect for Fox News had been dropping for a couple of years anyway. But I mean, I haven't watched Fox News other than for Tucker Carlson. Then for about a year, Tucker Carlson and The Five. Those are the only two shows I watched with any kind of regularity on Fox News.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was Tucker and Greg Gutfeld.
He's on too late for me to watch.
Oh, he's on at 10 now. He's on earlier.
Right. Well,
I don't watch it all the way through. I just watch the first segment or so and then go to bed.
I'm usually in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
We're
me
heading
too.
that way. And like I've said before, my wife controls the television in our house when she's home.
That's the way it is in my house too.
And it's Hallmark or the Great American Channel. That's what's on in the evenings.
Well, one show my wife does like is American Detective with Joe Kinda. It's on the Discovery ID. He talks about solving crimes in Colorado, where he's from.
She may be trying to figure out how to make certain she doesn't get caught in a crime.
No, she just thinks Joe Kinda's kind of cool. So, no, she's not thinking about that kind of stuff. I guarantee you that. Because if she had thought about that kind of stuff, I'd be dead a long time ago.
No, I tell you, women are scary. God love your souls. I love women. Don't get me wrong. But some of the sneakiest people I've ever met in my life, most of them have been women. Women are sneaky people and can
Women
get
and
away
addicts.
with it.
All right. Well, on that note,
and we're going to go ahead and this. Any words of wisdom before you head out the door there, Dar?
any words of wisdom? Yeah, don't listen to Shrimp Notes.
Yeah. Hey, that is wise
trouble.
words. I'm just a 63-year-old fat man that with an opinion and needs to say something out loud.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, all right, good enough. I got nothing.
But no, I tell you, I want to thank everybody that's come out to listen to this show today.
Yeah,
You know,
quite
I
the
really
crowd.
appreciate you guys. I really do. And you know, I'm not going to say I sit there. I love you all. No, I just appreciate that you're willing to spend whatever time you do listening to me, and whether you're listening to me for laughs, even though I'm not a funny guy, I may hold funny opinions, but I'm not a funny person or whatever. I just appreciate y'all coming out and listening to me. And chat's usually fun to watch. So you guys are great. I appreciate you. And as always, you know, be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. And we'll be back later on.